Hey, good afternoon, my Fanatic Pack. Happy birthday, America. July 4th, 1776, and it's just coming down to that next Tuesday. This Tuesday coming up is America's birthday, and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. Welcome to Forensics Mania 411 with my fellow co-host, Lynn, my fellow CSI, and Lynn, if you want to come out here, welcome to the show. We're getting ready. If you guys already heard the introductory music, we're talking about God Bless the USA. And I can't think of a better song to start our show off today, Lynn, than God Bless the USA. So I want to hear all the veterans out there bellowing it out really loud as you possibly can. I want to hear you if you served. I want to hear heart. I want to hear determination. I want to hear motivation. I want to hear dedication, because we are a united nation. Here we go, guys. Lynn, go ahead and start from the beginning. Here we go. I want you guys to come in here. I want everybody to sing it. Here we go. Lynn, start it over. Here we go, guys. I want you guys to sing along with me. I want to hear you guys bellow it out. Make me feel it. I want to feel you from your home. I want to feel you inside my home. Remember, we're a united nation, dedicated, motivated, and educated. And that's who we are. Forensic Fanatics, welcome to Forensic Mania 411. Everybody stand up and just give respect to America. And we're going to open our show with God Bless the USA. Now turn away up there. Come on, let's come on in the show here. If tomorrow all the things were gone, I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the stack still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I want to hear you guys, come on. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and we're proud to stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, he gave that right to me. And I gladly stand next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Hey, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, he gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Oh my God, guys. I'll tell you what, that just brings a tear to my eye to hear that song. God bless America. Happy birthday, America. It's coming Tuesday, July 4th. I hope each and every one of you guys are having a great, wonderful, happy holiday. Thank you for joining us for Forensic Mania. And I'm about to call out my co-host, Lynn, to welcome her to the show. Guys, we're so glad you're here. This is day 2 of the Darlie Routier investigation. And it's Lynn and I's favorite word, is something hinky in the investigation. We're going to talk about the hinky situation and objects and weapons of opportunity today on the Darlie Routier investigation number 2. But before we get started, let me introduce my fellow co-host and cohort, medical legal death investigator at CSI, Lynn. Lynn, come on up here. And Lynn, absolutely, as you can see, you're in your white, and blue. You look great.
Yes,
Welcome to the show.
I love America.
Welcome to the show, Lynn.
Thank you, TJ.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what.
And hi, TJ. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Lynn. Doesn't just when you sing that song out and you hear those words and it comes out, especially being a veteran myself, it just brings a tear to my eye. Every time they raise the flag, they bury somebody or the clay tat, it just takes your heart. It just grabs at your heartstrings. It really does.
Yeah. And I have something I want to say, and I'll try not to cry.
Okay, here we go, guys. Let me touch the camera here so you guys can actually see.
No, it's okay.
Oh, Lynn's going to bring it up here. Here we go, guys.
Okay. I'm bringing it this way. Everybody, this is my dad. And if you've been with us since the show started a little over a year ago, I lost my dad a year ago this past May, on May the 13th. And my dad was an Army guy. Hey, how about that?
Yeah, he was going too. He was really good.
He was down at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. That's where he was stationed out there for a while.
Yeah, you knew about the Jeffrey McDonald murder we talked about a little while ago.
Oh yeah. He knew all about that, and just throw a little thing out there when he was stationed at Fort Bragg. You're not going to believe who came on base. And he kind of got a glimpse of. And that was our dearly departed Patsy Cline.
Oh, and everybody loved her voice, man. I'll tell you what, I want to sleep me to bed anytime.
So, everybody, this is my dad. So,
and if you don't mind me too, I'd like to say a special tribute. You know, I really admired Fred. One of the things that was amazing about Fred is if you lived to know him, you were blessed. And I told myself I wasn't going to cry, but and Lynn and I were trying not to cry, but it's still fresh in our minds because it's only been last year. But he lives in our hearts, and if he touched your heart, you were blessed. Mm-hmm. And I think the thing that was so good about Fred is that just his dedication to patriotism, his sacrifice to his nation, his dedication to his country, and he lived in red, white, and blue. I mean, he bled red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved being a veteran. He told me, as a fellow veteran Navy myself, I'm National Guard and Air Guard and stuff like that. He told me that it was amazing because we lived on the same bases.
Oh yeah.
We ate the same food. We ate the same sandbox, and it just was amazing that just how we just matched. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think it was because of the camaraderie. That there's something you just can't take away from the military people. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, to grab a weapon and stand a post and put your life on the line for somebody else that you barely know. That you met in boot camp, or you met in the base, or met in a different location. That he'll put his life on the line for you, and you'll put your life on the line for him. Mm-hmm. What did Jesus always say in the Bible? No greater friendship have a man have, or love for his fellow man or fellow woman, and then lay down a life for a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with everybody, you know.
And we appreciate
I'm
it,
missing-
and like I said, God bless you, Fred, and rest in peace. And thank you for, like I said, your commitment and dedication to our nation for our freedom. And we'd like to take this time, Lynn and I, when she comes back out here, Lynn, if you want to grab the flag here for a minute, because of course, when Fred passed away, you guys know the symbol of the flag. And Lynn, if you want to bring the flag out here, I'd like to make another dedication really fast here. This is dedicated to all the men and women of the armed forces that are not with us, that have given the ultimate sacrifice. We all know that, I wasn't making upset, but we all know what the 50 stars mean, and the red for the blood, and the white and the blue for virility and just majestic of the pride of our nation. And you also know about the folds and different things. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But this is symbolic. We like to take this time and have a moment of silence for all of the veterans that have given the ultimate sacrifice, which is their life for their nation, our freedom.
And all of them that are over there fighting for us right now. Thank you.
But not just Oconus, just, Oconus around the bases all around the United States.
All
So we'd like to have a moment of silence for all our fellow brothers in arms, the ones, like we said, that have given the ultimate sacrifice. And this is what their family would receive, a triangle flag folded in this manner that Lynn also received, even though Fred didn't die in a lot of combat because he was a veteran. It's classic that they have the gun salute, and then they issue this to the first daughter or the first son in the family, or if, whoever's designated for the flag in that family, and this is given to them. And this is actually the flag that was issued to Lynn and I for Fred in memory of his honorable and faithful service. So I'd like to have a moment of silence. Okay, thank you very much, Lynn. I don't want to get Lynn upset. I'm going to let Lynn replace the flag because that's a very prized possession. We don't like to bring that out a lot. Guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to Forensic Mania 411. Lynn and I have got so much to tell you. We told you guys you did not want to miss this show. We are not going to disappoint. We are very, very proud to say that this is going to be a wonderful show. We are going to open your eyes to the Darlie Routier investigation. Probably if you haven't followed this investigation. And Lynn, I'll tell you what, I've never seen a woman go to death row with a haphazard.
I'll let you back over on
I've
this
never
side.
seen a woman.
We're used to this, guys. I'm being on that side.
I've never seen a woman on death row with so much circumstantial evidence that is just really sketchy. There's a lot more questions than answers in this case.
Absolutely. And guys, you're not. We did this case a year ago, and TJ and I have just found so much more information on this case. It is going to literally blow your mind.
And right now, all it's doing is just making it more and more controversial.
Yeah.
And the thing that, before we get into the investigation of the case, and I want to know what you think about this one, the average person sits on death row in Texas for 10 years before they're executed. That's male and female, okay? Darlie Routier has been on death row for 25 years.
I believe it's 27.
Is it 27? Is it in the research and investigation we did, we said 25 years.
Yeah, but
Probably before we did the investigation, but 27 years. What I'm basically trying to say is she's way over past the point.
Way past.
So my message to you out there, Mr. Davis, the prosecutor, if you're so convinced that Darlie Routier is guilty, why does she still have a say of execution from the governor?
Exactly.
And like I said, we're going to look into the investigation. Please, guys, draw your own conclusions. We're not going to tell you what we're thinking. We're thinking open-minded like you guys are.
Yeah.
We're just telling you the stuff that we found out.
What we're doing and why TJ and I do this show is we love cold cases. We love going back in and seeing what we can find, what we can pick apart. And, like we're saying, draw your own conclusion. I have my views of the case. And I share those, and TJ has his views of the case, and he shares those. And we want to hear what you guys have to think, or what you guys have to say, rather. But, and also, tonight, between 7 and 8 o'clock, we think we are going to be doing
Ask the Criminals.
Ask the
This is the
Criminals
second show we'll be doing on
on
TikTok.
TikTok.
And tell them
Okay.
the reason why we're going to TikTok is because we thought we'd reach a larger audience
Yes,
on TikTok.
yes.
And we've moved to YouTube. As you
Yes.
guys can clearly see
As
through
you guys
today.
can see,
I hope
we're
you guys
on
are enjoying the
YouTube.
transition. We got a lot of fan mail that said a lot of the parents, even from
Oh,
Kids
really?
Corner,
Really?
are a lot more happy than being on YouTube because
Say hi.
most kids, my toddler fanatics, my baby fanatics, We're talking about our fanatics from toddler to 18 years old. A lot of their parents don't want them on Facebook, and I can understand that.
And Gracie May wanted to say hi.
Gracie May wanted to say hi to everybody, our possible Yorkie. Hi, baby. And I get my kisses from her. Here, Gracie May, you want to say something to the folks out there?
And she looks
And that's how she talks. She
And
looks
that's how she
for
talks.
the microphone. Okay, but Lynn, like I said, we want to get our show started and stuff like that. Is there anything else you want to say, Lynn, before we get into? I told people they're going to hear about the hinky stuff that's going on with the weapons of opportunity, with the investigation. We got a lot of information.
Yeah, we have a lot of information. So, guys, why don't we get into it?
So without further ado, guys, we're going to get in. This is day 2 of the Darlie Routier investigation. This is the hinky portion and the weapons of opportunity from Forensic Mania 411, our investigation. Draw your own conclusion.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Melinda's doing this when she's setting the camera up here, right here on the couch. She's getting it set for you guys. I'm going to get, Lynn's going to come over here and she's going to sit down and we're going to talk about this. I'm going to let Lynn discuss with you what she found out in the investigation. Lynn, is that okay with the light off or did that dim it too far down?
Oh, no.
Where they can't see us?
We're good.
Okay, guys,
We're good.
welcome, like I said, to Forensic Mania 411. I'm your friendly neighborhood criminalist, TJ. As you guys can clearly see that me and Lynn are in our white and blue attire. Tuesday is July the 4th, 1776. America's birthday. We're a nation that's dedicated, motivated, educated, and united for one. And happy birthday, America. Happy birthday to all you people out there that's celebrating this weekend, the 4th of July weekend. Hope you're having a safe weekend, taking a taxi, not a life if you're drinking any alcohol or doing any other substances that impairs you from driving a vehicle. Take a taxi, not a life. Lynn and I are big fans of that. We're also big fans of that on a New Year's Eve. And the other thing we want to tell you, a big plug is, kids, if you're an adult, I'm going to count you're 18 or over, but if you're doing fireworks, please get supervision or get the training that you need to allow fireworks, because we know burns and dismemberment is pretty popular with the 4th of July, so we're talking about fireworks. They're very dangerous. There are a lot of people, if you don't know how to operate them, they can be detrimental. So you're not only losing like a digit, a finger, or possibly an arm, or you can be severely burned. So we want you guys to be safe as well. We told our kids today on the kids' corner to make sure that they are supervised constantly by their parents, especially if they're using sparklers because they come extremely hot. And just same thing with you kids. I don't care if you're 18 or over. A lot of places, a lot of states, you need to be 21 to operate fireworks with a license because you have special training. And that's pretty much what I'll say. Without further ado, I'm going to hand this over to Lynn, you guys, and we're going to talk about some of the things. And Lynn, we have found a lot of information in the day 2 of the Darlie Routier investigation. And I'll tell you what, this is just more questions than answers in this case. And this just blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
So without further ado, guys, I'm going to turn this over to Lynn. She's going to tell you what she found out. And then I'm going to give you my spiel. And then we have an experiment we want to show you today.
Yes,
Lynn's going to demonstrate you today.
Because we love experiments.
Because we love experiments, like we told you guys. We like at least one
We
experiment.
like seeing it.
And we want you to see it. We want you to see it and draw your own conclusion. So without further ado, guys, here's my fellow CSI and medical legal death investigator, Lynn.
All right. Thank you there, TJ. Okay. Guys, we are talking about the Darlie Routier case from June 6, 1996. Okay, and this was in Rowlett, Texas. And, her and her 2 boys, Damon and Devin, wanted to have, I guess, like a little, what me and my kids used to do, little carpet picnic, sleeping in the living room, watching TV, watching movies all night.
Yeah, they're making a tent floor or something like that is what they were saying.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
tents and blankets and stuff.
Right. So that, that's what they were doing that evening. And it was quite warm out. So, of course, because it was June and we're talking about Texas here. It gets really hot there. I've been there. So, what we're going to get into today is some of the weapons of opportunity, right,
Okay,
TJ?
right.
And we are going to show you some of those. And TJ, if we can go ahead and start showing some, which was, this was the bread knife.
The controversial bread knife.
Uh-huh.
You guys can see that.
Unknown caller.
right here, the controversial bread knife, guys. I'm sure this
And
wasn't the
that-
actual
yeah.
bread knife, but this is a
see,
good.
can you take that closer to the camera?
Here, guys.
TJ,
Go
so
ahead,
that
go
they
ahead,
can
Lynn.
see it?
Did you guys see that bread knife there?
You see all the nooks and crannies and grooves and everything.
It's serrated.
Right.
You can see it.
Okay, now they're saying that this knife, this bread knife, was used to cut the screen in the garage, so the perpetrator could come in.
Okay.
Okay,
And
and then they said the police department said that they found this knife that was put back into the butcher block
yeah.
of all the other knives. Okay, and that's how they found this knife, and they found this one fiber.
A micron of a fiber.
A micron of a fiber.
I don't know if you guys know how
Okay.
small a micron is, but it's pretty small.
So my thing is this, TJ, and we're going to do this experiment too. Not today, but we're going to get a piece of screen and cut it with this and see how many shards of the screen that we actually end up with on this knife. Okay, so
And before you get into that
yes.
too, let me say about the fiber. If you want to hold the bread knife,
Sure.
There's something that I thought that the defense made a really good point of, and we all know Darlie Routier really didn't get a really good defense and get a fair trial at all. I looked at the trial. The defense didn't challenge a lot of the state's evidence. A lot of the state's evidence. Okay, here's my problem with the bread knife. Okay, you guys all know Locard's principle, which means you leave a trace everywhere you go. Okay, here's my problem with the bread knife, guys. Okay, the problem with the bread knife theory about there being a 1 micron and the 1 fiber matching the screen, supposedly, because they said it wasn't 100%. They said the experts said that it was similar to the screen material. He didn't say it was part of the screen material, and here's part of it too, guys. When they tested this bread knife for fingerprints, they used amino black on it. Okay, amino black would have contaminated this knife when you check it for fingerprints, because they were trying to produce latent prints. Here's the problem: they tested the knife after it was dusted for prints. Plus, they used amino black on this, which would have destroyed those supposed fibers. The also is, with this being a cut screen, if you guys saw this serrated knife, if I can hold that guy's eye to you guys, if you guys look at this serrated bread knife, the way this is in a blunt object, if I cut this in a T pattern, like they said they did the screen, there'd be more than 1 microfiber on here. And we're going to show them later on down the road. We're going to show you guys in an experiment. That's why I have a problem with the bread knife. But we do know the bread knife was one of the weapons of opportunity that was used in the murder.
And then our other weapons of opportunity was, of course, another knife from the butcher block. Of course, mine doesn't have a white handle, but
ours doesn't have the white handle like they had in the Darlie Routier home, but it was similar to this.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then, TJ, I found some very, very interesting stuff.
Okay, go ahead. I like to hear it. Go ahead.
You,
I know you guys want to hear it, right?
you want to hear it, guys?
Okay, go ahead, Lynn. What'd you find about the knife?
Okay, you're not going to believe what I found. I found that on the knife that was used and that was left at the scene, okay, had Darlie's blood on it,
Exactly.
and it had Damon's blood on it.
Yes.
But here comes the kicker.
There's 3 victims.
There's 3 victims.
Where was Devin's blood?
Devin's blood was not on this knife.
No, okay, guys. I want you guys to picture what we're telling you here, okay? They said that Darlie Routier was the only one that operated this knife and that she stabbed her 2 boys. The forensics came back, the DNA came back, and this is evidence that you guys can investigate yourself.
This is proven.
This is stuff that we investigated in our investigation. You draw your own conclusion.
Right.
The only blood that was on this knife, okay, was Damon's and Darlie's. What does that tell you, folks? I want you guys to think about that for a minute.
Now remember, proven by DNA.
Now, proven by DNA, okay? Scientific forensic evidence. Okay,
So-
here's my problem. Devin was stabbed and was killed as well. Matter of fact, Devin died instantly. Damon was the one who lived in the back of the bus. Right? So here's my problem. Okay? This supports an intruder theory because now we have another weapon that's not been found.
That's not
The
been
Raleigh
found.
police have never processed another weapon.
Right.
And we just heard from, like, Kenny Maines, I think, investigated this. It was a heavy investigator involved in this. And we had this. He said the number one thing that a perpetrator, a murderer, or a burglar does is take his own weapon to the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that other knife?
Exactly.
Because without that knife being there, that tells me right then and there, folks, that supports the intruder theory. There's another weapon that's missing that was involved because somebody's got blood with Devin's blood on it.
Right. Exactly.
And this is another thing, Glenn, that really is shocking. According to Tom Bevel, the blood evidence that was found in the murder case, we're talking 2 millimeters. Like, I don't know then if you have a tape measure, you can show them what 2 millimeters is, but we're talking 2 millimeters, folks.
I mean, that's like nothing.
2 millimeter stains that they're saying went up in the air miraculously and came down on the right shoulder of Darlie Routier of her nightgown. Lynn and I are going to show you where we believe that the blood evidence was contaminated, and we're going to prove it with an experiment. Number one.
Yeah, that's later on.
Number two,
that's later on.
if Darlie and Damon's blood was on the knife supposedly that Darlie used,
right.
and they didn't find the other knife, how did Devin's blood get on her nightgown?
Exactly. How did it? So these are some of the questions that we have, guys, that we have found already. So when TJ and I did this case a year ago, we were thinking that there was 2 people involved in this.
And that evidence right there supports it for him.
That evidence right there does support the fact that there was an intruder and the fact that there was possibly 2. Okay? So, and we know, this is one of the other things that we found is that Darren was in debt.
Severely in debt, over $200,000.
And we have just found out, TJ was able to locate this information, that Darren purchased $250,000 life insurance policy.
A $250,000 life insurance policy 2 weeks before
2 weeks
the murders.
before.
Now here's my question, Lynn.
2 weeks.
Now you guys, then want to go ahead and say it because it sounds. Go ahead, Lynn.
Hinky.
It's our favorite word. It's called hinky. Okay, guys, I want you guys to picture this. Not after they purchased the house, not before they had the babies, not after they purchased all these possessions, but 2 weeks before the murder, Darren takes out a life insurance policy on Darlie Routier, which was confirmed by the insurance broker, for $250,000 on Darlie. Not the kids,
Right.
Darlie.
Yeah. And the kids only have $5,000 each.
And that was just life insurance that they had got when they were, that was through you ever said Gerber Life?
Yeah, Gerber
Gives
Life.
you that $5,000 insurance. We all found out about that, but my question is, why do you purchase $250,000 2 weeks before the murder?
Exactly.
Go ahead, Lynn, you want to say it, because I like to hear Lynn say it. Go ahead and say
What?
it.
That it's hinky?
Yeah, it's hinky, guys.
It's hinky.
I want you guys to draw your own conclusion. Do you guys see what we're saying? I want you guys to picture this. 2 weeks before the murder, Darren buys $250,000 of life insurance in Darlie Routier's name. Okay? And Lynn, do you want to tell them what else we found out about Darren?
Which part?
We know he lied on the lie detector test 3 times that the FBI gave him.
Yeah. He was tested 3, okay, get this, guys. 3 different times. He was polygraphed, okay? And they only asked him 4 questions, okay? And this was on 3 separate occasions. And he failed it all 3 times.
And the thing that upsets me is, okay, if I love my children the way I love my children, you're talking,
right.
Devin was how old, Lynn? And David was how old?
Devin was 6, about to be 7, okay? And Damon was 5.
Okay, so here's my thing, okay? My kids are brutally murdered, okay? They tried even the good cop, bad cop after he miserably failed this lie detector test.
Oh, yeah.
And we have videotaped this, and all we did was smirk.
Yeah.
I would have been standing up, screaming, cussing them out, saying, you, blah, 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 blah. I never would kill my kids. I would never hurt my kids, blah, blah, blah.
And
Darlie
he's
Routier's
sitting
been doing
there.
on death row, freaking out. And you got Darren, and all he does is smirk at the investigator. He said, if you didn't commit the murder, you know who did, you were involved in it, and whatever. He was pointing his finger in his face like the good cop, bad cop thing.
Right.
After the polygraph, and Darren sat there and smirked. They have it on live TV.
Yep.
And we're going to show it to them. We're going to show you the videotape.
Oh, we are? Not
today, but we're going to. They're an investigation. Like Lynn said, we're going to show you guys the proof.
Yeah. I mean, because there is it's just so much information here, guys. I mean, this is a lot. And I mean, this is going to take us weeks to show you all this stuff between, the evidence that we found and the experiments that we want to do, and so on and so forth. I mean, this is crazy.
And this one really blew me away, Lynn. I thought this was absolutely, positively drove me away. Did you know the lead investigator could not even be cross-examined at the trial? Now, mind you, this is a capital murder case.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay? Now, I don't know if you guys know anything about capital murder cases. I'm just talking to all you guys in law enforcement, lawyers, everybody out there. This is a capital murder case.
Right.
The defense they're trying to say the defense got a fair trial with Darlie Routier, but they're trying to say that the lead detective took the fifth on the stand.
I know that.
It's never happened in a capital murder case.
Yeah.
So what I want to ask you is, why wasn't it declared a mistrial?
Yeah, why wasn't it? I mean, there were
just absolutely
so
unbelievable.
many things that happened in this trial that, should have been either tossed out, or her given a new trial, or something, drop the charges. I mean.
The other thing is, too, before we get to the experiment, I got two more things I need to tell you guys, and this really bothered me. Okay, we have proof, evidence, Lynn, that Darren spoke to a guy. First of all, a long time ago, called Barry Fife. You guys can look this up. This is public record.
Oh yeah.
Barry Fife. His name is Barry Fife. F-I-F-E. Okay, it's public record, guys. I'm not telling you something that you guys can't Google and do a data search yourself. Barry Fife was a friend of Darren's. And he had a history of some shady past with some, petty theft stuff and different things going on. And he was kind of a shady character. And the thing about it is Darren asked Barry Fife, matter of fact, we have an affidavit he swore to the court. Mm-hmm. Sworn to the court from Darren. Is that not correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That states that he went to Barry Fife and he asked Barry to steal, because he was financially in debt at the time, mm-hmm. to steal his Jaguar, which he did. Mm-hmm. They staged the stealing of the Jaguar,
right.
And Darren collected insurance money on the proceeds.
Right. And so we know that Darren was looking for someone to do this again, to break into the house, to make it look, to make it look like a robbery and all this other stuff. But what I think, TJ, is what happened that night was maybe Darren didn't anticipate that Darlie was going to want to stay downstairs in the family room with the boys to watch TV and have like a little carpet picnic, popcorn, whatever.
Yeah, and who knows that, because of cell phone usage and everything like that, we never saw the cell phone records, but did Darren reach out to the guy and try to break it off and couldn't get a hold of the guy?
Yeah, see, we
know
don't.
Know the guy was down there?
We don't
and
know.
The thing about it is I really am having a problem with Darren's involvement. The lies he told, to be accused like that and smirk, like it's a joke. Your wife is on death row, or your ex-wife is on death row. Your kids were brutally murdered.
Right.
The thing that really, really upset me about this whole thing is everybody thought that how could Darlie Routier have lived through these brutal murders? I have to say something, and Lynn, I'm sure you can back me up on this because you've been on sleeping pills before too.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the things we found, guys, I finally found it, okay, that she tested positive for amphetamines in the ER. When they took her into the hospital, when she arrived there, they tested her blood.
Toxicology reports came back positive for amphetamines.
Yes.
Now, I can say this as a coroner because I have the training, and I have this in nursing and training, and and anytime I train, just my experience as a Navy corpsman. There's certain sleeping drugs out there. Matter of fact, I'm on one of them. I'm on trazodone because I have a heart condition, and I take a half a trazodone, and when I get a drug screen, I have to tell people that I can have a false positive for amphetamines,
Right.
being on trazodone. I have evidence, and I'm not going to say who it is because it's under investigation, that Darren went to this female that was on trazodone and asked to borrow some.
Right.
Could he have put trazodone in Darlie Routier's drink before she went to bed?
Yeah, before she went to bed. Who's
Something
to
to think about, guys.
Who's to say that he didn't give some to the kids either?
Lynn, I know you were telling me before, Lynn, that you've been on Ambien before.
Yes.
And would you like to tell the people, I mean, you're really in a deep sleep, because I know you see me, the dogs can literally, like I'm on 25 milligrams of trazodone, like half a tablet, looks like a middle
And our dogs will bounce the bed. I mean, Aria, the German Shepherd we have, she will bounce the bed and try to get him up, and he won't move. He won't move.
I mean, a missile could come through the
Because
room.
he is gone.
When I think I sleep in dog.
And you know, when I took Ambien, you know, same thing for me. I took it and I went to sleep. But here's the thing, guys. Everybody keeps asking, how could Darlie sleep through this or not know what was going on? How could she have wrestled with this person? Yada, yada, yada. And on and on. Well, okay, she tested positive for amphetamines. So my girls, okay, were, preteen at the time. I had one teenager, one was preteen. And they would say, Mom, you would get up in the middle of the night, okay, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would make them a 4-course breakfast, okay, and they would come out and go like this, and I didn't move. I didn't flinch. I did nothing. I was sleepwalking. And I would go out there and I would fix them a full breakfast. And then apparently I would go back to bed.
And they've done studies on this.
Oh yeah.
In sleepwalking. I'm not a specialist in sleepwalking or anything like that, but they've done studies on this. But the thing that upsets me about the Raleigh Police Department is the worst thing they can tell you as an investigator is to get tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
And there were 2 investigators that this really blew my mind when it was on Court TV. And on Court TV, they had these 2 New York detectives that I have a lot of respect for. And per capita, they handle thousands of murders, thousands of break-ins a year. And these guys have been homicide and murder detectives in the criminal division for over 20-some years. You guys can watch them. They're on Court TV. I'm telling you stuff you guys can't see.
Yeah.
We're going to show you guys the videotape later on down the road when we talk about this, footage of this. But what I'm basically saying is, they said they spent more time on the Darlie Routier investigation. This is a capital murder case.
Right.
They spent more time investigating the capital murder case of Darlie Routier than they did for an hour show than they did in the whole investigation.
Yep. And you know, guys, there like we said, there's a lot of things in this case that, you know, TJ and I just look at each other and say, oh my God. And this poor woman, she's been on death row for over
27 years.
25 years.
Yeah, over 25 years.
Okay, and there is a stay of execution.
By the governor.
By the governor. But you know, and one thing that I found, TJ, is this. I found one article that says they were waiting on DNA testing. Okay? And this was in 2022. Okay? And they're waiting on DNA testing that was done in 2018. Okay, why is it taking you guys that long? 2018 to 2022, and this is 23 now, guys, and we still do not have this answer.
Yeah.
That the American public, okay, whether you think Darlie Routier is guilty, or if you think that she is innocent, we still do not have this information. Why? Why is it taking you people so long? Why? Are you afraid that there's going to be egg on your face and that it is going to be the biggest lawsuit that Texas has ever seen?
And the thing about the whole thing, and this really, really upsets me, is I don't know if you heard this in 2021, the Innocence Project got involved. And I'm a big supporter of the Innocence Project. They've released a lot of people with DNA evidence on death row. We all know that people live on death row for like 15, 18 years for appeals.
Right.
And there's been 500 and some people exonerated by DNA evidence by the Innocence Project. But the thing I'd like to say about the Innocence Project is the Innocence Project got involved. They finally won a court hearing in 2021 that had the evidence, DNA evidence for all the Darlie Routier and evidence involved in the investigation. And did you know the California lab came back and said some of that evidence was never even tested for DNA?
Yeah. Can you guys
So
believe
now, mind
that?
you, Rowlett, Texas said that they processed the whole crime scene. This isn't their first rodeo. This isn't this. This isn't that. Here's my problem before Lynn gets into talking about what our experiment's going to prove to you guys today. And we're going to prove to you to Rowlett, Texas, they might want to take another class in crime scene investigation. Okay, number one, let's go back to Forensics 101. We know for a fact, right, Lynn, and this is guaranteed information. We know for a fact that Darlie Routier's nightgown, a pair of jeans, correct, and Darren's underwear, all bloodstained, was all thrown together in a brown bag. Right, correct, soaking wet, correct?
Well, actually, TJ, when this Officer Maine is what his name is.
Okay.
Mayne, okay, testified, okay, that he picked up the bags from where? The fire station. Evidence like that does not go to the fire station. It goes to the police department, and it is handled and preserved
By CSUs.
exactly, and the correct way. Okay.
Okay, Lynn, do you want to explain to them what we're talking about here? All the garments soaking wet were placed together. Okay, this is where it's questioning Tom Bevel's analysis of the blood analyses, because we already know it was contaminated.
Right.
So tell them, I want you to tell the American people out there and tell our forensic fanatics out there, what is the proper way with a wet garment, which we call a substrate, which is a substrate is a material or garment that introduces blood to a blood source. So what we're talking about is we're talking about Darlie Routier's nightgown. Let's go through the nightgown. Number one, Lynn, what's the first thing they should have done?
Well, number one, you know, okay, and you guys have to understand the dynamics that night. Okay, this happens at 2:20 in the morning, and she's calling 911. Okay, and she has already told them that, and we actually need to play the tape for them.
Oh, we're going to scrutinize the 911 tape
the
as well.
911 tape. Okay.
We don't have time for it all today, but we're
No,
doing
not all
investigations,
today,
right.
but we are going to go through this.
No, I want you to do
Because
this. I want you to explain it.
I want to be able to go through this methodically for them, so that they, you know, so that we're not jumping around all over the place, so that we can tell them straight down the line what happened.
Right, but what I'm just trying to say is
so
we're talking
here's-
about the wet garment.
right.
So what would have been the first procedure?
Okay, what happens is you know, they're working on Damon. Okay, Devin is already deceased.
Yeah, Devin's already dead on arrival.
So Devin's body goes straight to the morgue. Okay, Damon is put in the back of the ambulance, and the paramedics are working on him. Okay, Darlie is still alive. Okay, and she is putting, you know, into a rescue squad and taken immediately to the hospital.
Right.
Now, normally this doesn't happen, and I understand that these are life, you know,
Sustaining measures, right.
yeah, you know, to save their lives. So what did the paramedics do? They cut up her nightshirt.
On the seams, though. They didn't cut them, no, they cut up the seams. They did.
That's far.
But what my problem is I'm a paramedic myself. I take in paramedic training. Paramedics are not trained in crime scene investigation.
Right.
We're told if they think it's a sexual assault or a murder, number one, we don't cut inside the garment. We cut inside the seams of the garment because we want to preserve as much forensic evidence as we possibly can.
Exactly.
And as a medic and as an EMT, anybody you guys out there can chime in and tell me that I'm exactly correct. We are not crime scene CSU trained. We do not touch murder evidence. Right. What would have happened is Darlie Routier would have been treated right there. That garment would have been cut off at the seams. It would have been left into a CSU.
Right.
But what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to make to Lynn is the garments were found at the fire department. They were stacked on top of each other. They were soaking wet. They were never dried out like they were supposed to be. Right. Anytime you're dealing with forensic evidence and you have a wet garment, okay, guys, we're going to show you this and experiment.
We're going to show you this.
You guys aren't going to see it all today. We're going to show you the rest of the end result next week because it's a science experiment. But we're going to show you.
What I'm trying to point out is this Officer Maine testified that he went and to pick up the bags from, like we said, the fire station.
Which is improper. Should have went to the crime lab.
It should have went to the crime
Should have went to the crime lab. So we didn't know that the chain of custody was broken already.
So he said, and he testified to, that in one bag that he looked into, it had Damon's blue jeans and underwear. Okay? Now we know he had a little nightshirt on as well. So, are we saying that Darlie's nightshirt, okay, blood-soaked nightshirt, okay, and possibly Damon's shirt was put into one bag, okay? Already, guys, you have cross-contamination.
Okay, you tell them why, Lynn.
Okay.
You tell them why. Because we have soaking wet garments.
Right.
Okay, and here's my problem, okay, guys. The proper procedure, Lynn, if you want to give me one of the bags here. The proper procedure, guys, why we don't use plastic bags with wet garments is number one, bacteria likes warm, dark, and moist. Okay? When you put a wet garment like this, a substrate, okay, with blood source evidence on it, a substrate, which would be a garment, a piece of material, whatever, into a plastic bag, you leave it open to warm, dark, and moist environment. That's a bacterial medium. It grows bacteria, which means it contaminates the evidence. Another way you can do contamination of blood evidence is cross-contamination.
Right.
And this is where my problem was, number one, it didn't go to a crime lab. It was found in the fire station days later.
Right.
Still wet.
Right.
Okay? The other problem is each one of the garments should have been in a separate bag, dried out first.
Dried out first.
Dried out and then placed into a paper bag. Why? Because a paper bag will preserve the DNA evidence and the blood spatter evidence.
Exactly.
This is why I'm questioning Tom Bevel's thing about the 2mm stains that were on Darlie Routier's, that one was Damon's and one was Devin's. We already proved that he lied because they didn't have the weapon that killed Devin.
Right.
So how could Darlie have had the blood on her shirt unless there was cross-contamination? Okay, which is possible. And we're going to show you guys with an experiment. Lynn's going to show you guys, because we're not making this up, guys. We're showing you this. This is how you cross-contaminate. So one more time, guys. If you guys are doing wet evidence, each piece of evidence should be dried, let to dry, whether it be clothespins or whatever. Usually if we see a 4x4 and it's full of blood, we'll let the blood soak up, and we'll take clothespins and hang it up or sit up on a piece of cardboard, let it dry out, and then we'll put it in a paper bag. Okay? Seal it, date it, initial it, time, date, initial, where it's going, what lab. It doesn't go to the fire station.
No.
Firefighters are not trained in crime scene investigation unless you're a fire investigator and you're doing crime scene investigation for a fire scene.
And it wasn't.
And that's special training. So guys, we're talking about, right now we got the breaking the chain of custody.
Right.
We got contamination of blood evidence that supposedly that they found the 2mm stains on the right. All I'm saying is, guys, draw your own conclusion. That's what we're telling you guys. This is the hinky stuff we're talking about.
Hinky.
So without further ado, because we're almost running out of time, I'm going to have Lynn go through and show you, and we are going to do an experiment for you guys live here, right here. I'm going to make sure the camera is right on Lynn. I'm going to move the coffee table out. We're going to put some things down, and we're going to blood soak some evidence. We're going to stick it in on a paper bag, and we're going to show you different stains, and we're going to show you what happens with cross-contamination right in front of your eyes so you guys get a chance to see what we're talking about. Not only was the chain of custody and the blood evidence, because we all know the silly string video and the blood evidence was very, very detrimental to Darlie's case.
Very, very detrimental.
So, we're wondering, was the blood evidence should have been thrown out in the first place, because we definitely proved there was a breaking the chain of custody. This is a capital murder case, and there definitely was cross-contamination. The blood evidence went to the fire department, never went to the lab for days. So guys, I don't know about you, like I said, my favorite word, hinky.
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to slide this out. Make sure Lynn's got a good camera angle here so we can show you guys what we're talking about here. And then, Lynn and I got about 10 more minutes, and we're going to show you guys this experiment. And then we're going to come back next week, and we're going to show you guys, when Lynn and I do the show next week, we're going to open up, and we're going to show you our experiment, because it's going to take a while for the blood-soaked evidence to deal with exist. But we're going to show you what happens when you take blood-soaked evidence and you stick it on top of two substrates on top of each other, how you get cross-contamination. Hey guys, wait for Lynn to come back here. She can put some gloves on.
All right, guys.
I'm gonna
Sorry
move this
about
out of the
that.
way for Lynn so she can do whatever she needs to do.
Yeah.
Lynn, you got your cameras up.
Sorry about that,
Do you
guys.
need-
I had to go and I had to get myself a pair of gloves because I forgot. No,
We go ahead and help Lynn
no,
there. We're gonna set things up
no.
for her.
I already have it set up. Leave it alone.
Okay, Lynn, do you have your fake blood and everything, Lynn?
Yes.
Do you need any pads or anything,
No.
Lynn? Okay, Lynn's going to show you guys, and guys, I'm going to make sure that you guys can see this. We're going to focus in on this really good, guys, here, so you guys can actually see the experiment. We're going to show you how we believe Darlie Routier's evidence was cross-contaminated, and the
So,
blood evidence should have
this-
been thrown out in the
This
capital murder
is
case.
the first thing. Can they see this?
Okay, guys, this is the first thing Lynn wants to show you. I want to pick this up so you guys
because
can see this.
I
on
wanted
this.
to I wanted to kind of
That's it right
mimic.
there. I got it, Lynn,
You
right
got it.
there.
I wanted to kind of mimic a shelf that would probably be at the fire station. You know, one of those metal shelves that you put stuff on top of, but they have holes. You know what? Slats and holes.
Yeah, I
you
know
know what
exactly
I'm
what you're
talking
talking
about?
about, Lynn. Yes.
Okay, so I made my makeshift shelf. Okay, that was the first thing I did. And then I got me some t-shirts here. Okay, and we're just mimicking. Okay, so
Lynn,
what?
do you need something because you're doing fake blood? Do you want to get
Honey,
some pads or
I
something there?
no, I got it. Okay, I got it. We're not going to make a mess. I hope.
Okay, here we go, guys. Lynn's going to show
We're
you.
not going to make a mess.
Well, then
I
I'm
hope.
trying to show you guys, like we told you guys, if the proper way the evidence should have been collected, no one was right in the chain of custody, the evidence should have been collected and went right to the crime lab and went to the fire department. The second thing is, Lynn is going to show you when an item is soaking wet, you would have dried it out and each item would have been put in a separate paper
Okay, but
bag.
they didn't do that. Okay,
Which we
so
all know they
we're
didn't
going to
do.
show you guys what they did.
We're going to show you what can happen when you put items together called cross-contamination. And this
Now-
is why we believe the blood evidence was tainted.
Okay,
in
and
the Darlie
in one
Routier
bag,
case.
like the officer said, Officer Main, he said he looked inside the bag and testified to that there was blue jeans and underwear in there.
Lynn, you want to bring it up closer so they can
Okay,
read out real quick?
so we know
Okay.
that was Damon's. Okay?
Okay.
So what we're going to do here is this. Sorry guys, I had to run and get me some gloves so I don't wind up with you know, red or pink hands here in a little bit. So let me get the
We don't know
trusty
if
gloves
this
on.
stuff stains or stuff, so. Okay, guys,
Okay.
well, Lynn's doing that. We're going to what you guys do. We're basically going to
So-
show you guys cross-contamination of
Don't worry, fake blood, not real blood.
This is fake
okay?
blood, guys. It isn't animal blood or anything else or our blood. This is just fake party blood that you get at a basic party store. Okay?
Okay.
We're just
So-
simulating here. We're doing an experiment here. Here we go, guys.
We're doing an experiment.
So you guys can actually see this. Remember, we told you guys, we want to get you guys involved and we want you guys to see it.
All right. Now what we're going to do, okay? This is going to mimic Damon's blue jeans and underwear.
Okay, go ahead, Lynn.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lynn.
So, because we know he was covered in blood too, right?
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get this all sopping all bloody wet here.
Okay, when Lynn gets that all bloody wet, then what she's going to do, she's going to have Lynn hold that up. And she's going to show you how much of the garment is saturated with blood. And then after there's the cross-contamination, we're going to show you what the garment would look like after some other blood would get on it from another garment, from another substrate. Okay? Then you got- you got-
I'm going to show them two different ways here. Okay?
Now, the proper way would have been, like I said, to let that dry out and then put it in separate
Now,
paper
now
bags.
this what should have
Not
been
plastic.
dried out, right?
Yes.
Okay, but it wasn't.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna see. Okay, this is Damon's, right? Okay, now you see how soppy that is? Okay, I'm already dripping, right, guys? Can they see
You
that?
guys see that?
That we're dripping?
Okay, now, according to the Raleigh Police Department and the fire department that collected the evidence, this is simulating Damon's jeans.
Okay.
So we're gonna put this in a paper bag.
Okay. So they put this in this paper bag. Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and take the Damon's jeans there and put them in the paper bag here, please. Now we all know the proper technique would have been to put everything in the separate bag It's bad enough they put it into a paper bag with it soaking wet.
All right. So now, here we go.
So now they seal it.
And
Of course,
we
they
take
sign it,
this
put their name on it.
yeah, blah, blah, blah.
And instead of going to the crime lab, it goes to the fire department.
It goes
That's
to
where
the
it was
fire
found.
department.
The fire department.
Okay, so here's our makeshift shelf. Okay. And we're just going to let that sit right there. Okay, now this other one, okay, I want you guys to, okay, this one, okay, this t-shirt, I mean, just to show you guys how this happens, okay?
Yes.
Because I want them to be able to see up close and personal how this happens. Okay, TJ?
Go ahead,
So
hold
you
on,
want
go ahead.
Okay, can you take that a minute?
Okay.
Can you take that a minute?
Yeah, go ahead,
Thanks,
Lynn.
because
Go ahead,
I don't want to get no,
Go ahead, Lynn. You can set our new experiment up here.
okay.
I hope you guys are enjoying
So-
this because this is really going to make a good point, guys. This
Do
is
you
where
want
we
to
believe
put that
the
shirt
blood
in there, please?
The blood evidence should have been, you know.
Okay. So now we have Darlie's nightshirt and possibly Damon's shirt was in here. We don't know for sure. All we do know for sure is that his blue jeans and his underwear were in this one. Okay? So we're going to show you how cross-contamination happens. So we take this and we put this on the shelf. We shove this in the shelf. Okay, underneath Damon's blood-soaked blue jeans.
I don't think but I understand when I did the investigation, they were stacked on top of each other when they found them.
Okay. Well, I'm just doing this as an experiment. Okay, because
Okay.
I want them to be able to see that, you know, we're already going to be seeing that this is going to be crikey.
Did you stop right? Did you stop right now pretty good?
I think I did. Okay, and I just want to show them. Now, next week, when we come back, we'll show you this. Okay, so the other experiment that we did the last time was, because we didn't have any paper bags at the time, okay? All we had was, of course, you know, just a plastic bag. And we know that this isn't the right way to collect, okay? But I want to show you what happens, okay, when we do cross-contamination. Okay, so we got our one experiment going on here, right, guys?
Yeah.
And then we are going to take another piece of white t-shirt, okay? And we are going to, once again, we are going to saturate that. Not as much as we did the other one, but we are going to saturate this, okay, with our fake blood, our fake party blood. Ooh, yay. Okay, guys? I love experiments. I like to be able to see everything that goes on, okay? All right, let's get that a little bit more on this side. I'll pour a little bit more in there. Make sure it gets good and saturated, right? And you guys can try these at home. You know, don't believe us, right, TJ?
Yeah.
Don't
you guys are
believe
trying
us.
to say that,
Hey, go to the party store. I mean, this, you know, it doesn't cost that much to get some fake blood and paper bags, and you know, you can get the paper bags in the other at the Dollar Tree, right? My favorite store, by the way.
Yeah, Lynn,
Okay.
when we did the investigation,
All right.
did they use paper bags or was it in plastic?
It was in paper bags, but the last time we did this, we didn't have any paper bags. So what me and TJ did was we just mimicked, okay, because what our main goal was to show you guys transference, okay?
Cross-contamination transference.
Cross-contamination and transference. Okay, now you guys see that that's pretty bloody, right? That's pretty bloody. What do you say, TJ? You think that's pretty
Yeah,
bloody
it's
there?
pretty bloody.
Pretty bloody.
We don't have
Okay.
paper bags at all?
No, when we did this last
Okay,
time.
I'm just saying we
Last
don't
year.
have any paper bags because I wanted to show them that
No, I did.
the thing was they were stacked on top of each other. You have a lot more transference. The bag was saturated with blood it was stacked on top of each other, the transference would be given immediate to the other garment.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this, guys, and just to show you how stuff happens, okay? And we're going to put it in to this plastic one.
Now you guys saw the blood. Now we're going to show you guys when you take another garment and stick it on top of another garment.
All right, now TJ, I'm going to have you take this one. Now you see, guys, this is completely white, right?
Okay, you guys see this. This is completely white, guys. This is what we're talking about, cross-contamination. We're going to show you through a plastic bag, and we're going to show you.
I'm going to have TJ
Okay, I'm going to put the microphone down, guys, so I can help her out here. Here we go, guys.
All right, and I'm going to have him put that in there.
Now, okay,
with
guys.
The bloody one,
now, if this is a paper bag, I want you guys to simulate this, okay? You're rocking and rolling down a truck. You're hitting bumps. You're bent all around.
Yeah, but we'll show them next week.
I just want to show you just what happens in a movement in a truck. Okay, we're in Pittsburgh, big potholes. Okay, we're hitting pothole after pothole. We don't know what the roads were like in Texas. I don't know if any of you people live in Texas. You can chime in and tell me what it is. But mind you, that other garment was white, guys, right? Okay, and then you get the side-to-side turning. Oh, and then there's an S-bend. So we're doing this. And this is just getting whirly-whirlied all over the place.
And then it goes to the fire station and it sits.
And it sits on a shelf.
Until Officer Main comes and picks it up, right?
Officer Main picks this up. Now, mind you, this is white, okay? Now, Tom Bevel testified that the blood evidence, he found 2 millimeter stains on Darlie's right shoulder that said that she was taking the knife and doing this. We already told you, we contradicted what Tom Bevel said because they never found the knife that killed Devin. They only found blood from Darlie and Damon on the kitchen knife, correct, Len? Right. They never found the murder weapon that stabbed Devin to death. Could it possibly be the prosecutor didn't charge her with Devin's murder too is because they didn't have her blood on the murder weapon?
Exactly.
Have his blood on the murder weapon. Exactly. That makes perfect sense.
Because what he said, what the prosecutor said, is that if they did not, if she got acquitted on Damon's, then what? They were going. Where are you going?
I'm going to give it some love. I want to show them what it looks like for cross-contamination.
Yeah, but I want that for next week.
It is going to be for next week, but I'm going to show them what it does just for rocking and rolling in a truck. And then we're going to show them next week what it really looks like. Okay, guys. So hopefully I can get this stuff out.
Because anyway. if she would have got acquitted with Damon's murder, then they were going to charge her with Devin's murder.
Yeah, I think that was incorrect. I think because the evidence is coming out that we found out that there was a weapon that was never collected, which supports the intruder theory that there was another person and it was another murder weapon because the blood on the kitchen knife, like we said, was Darlie and Damon's. It was never found to be Devin's.
Right. And
DNA supported that, the forensic evidence. So, number one, Raleigh Police Department, hello, Crime Scene Investigation 101. Where is the other knife that killed Devin?
That's what we want to know. Where's the other knife?
Okay, and it supports the theory that Tom Bevel, there's no way that you get 2 droplets went up in the air, 5 millimeter droplets went up in the air, landed on the right shoulder when the evidence was correct. Now, mind you guys, I want you guys to see this. This is just rocking and rolling in the truck. We're making, dippy doodle, right and left turns, S-bend, okay? Now, Lynn just showed you, we're going to show you next week after this dries out. Here's the garment that was blood soaked.
After it sits there.
Here was the blood that was garment soaked. This is garments being put together. This is where you get cross-contaminated transfers. Lynn, if you want to hold that real quick at this end and hold it in the camera, this is the one that Lynn blood soaked. And this is the garment that was totally white. All it was rocking and rolling in the truck. Now, we're not even talking sitting there for days on top of a blood soak. How can that evidence not be tainted and contaminated? This is what we're talking about, guys. This is called transference. Yeah. Cross-contamination.
And next week, we'll show you what it looks like after sitting for a week.
When it comes out of a paper bag.
Yep.
But as you guys can clearly see, we wanted to show you guys in a plastic bag. That was just making turns, like left-right turns, making an S-bend, maybe hitting a pothole here and there. And then on top of it, why did it go to the fire department? Why did it go to the crime lab?
Exactly.
So you got to break in the chain of custody.
Exactly.
That evidence in a capital murder case should have been tossed out.
Right. Exactly. So, guys, that is our show for today. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. We hope that you guys like our new setup and the fact that we're doing karaoke now. Because don't just leave me and TJ up here to act stupid. Join us. We want you to join us. We want you to have fun with our show, right, TJ?
Right, and hey guys, I just like to say, you guys know my motto. There's no such thing as the perfect crime. We'll see you next week for day 3 of the investigation of the Darlie Routier case. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're going to get ready. We're going to sing God Bless the USA one more time to bring America's birthday up front for July the 4th, for Tuesday this next week. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the investigation. And you guys know my motto as a courtroom criminalist. The living deserve respect. The dead deserve to know the truth, receive closure, and have justice metered out. You guys, thank you. Good night from Fairmont, West Virginia. And we're all going to get ready to sing the song. So I want everybody to stand up, nice and proud. I want to hear you guys nice and loud singing the song. And we're going to close our show tonight with God Bless the USA and respect America's birthday. Okay, guys, YouTube's got to get their dig in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, guys. We're really excited about this. We hope you guys like the new thing we're doing now. Lynn, if you want to turn it up, it's going to have to go way up. I want to hear you guys belt this out. I want to hear everybody out there standing up, showing respect for our great nation, our country, and our military. Okay, here we go, guys. Is tomorrow all the things were gone? I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and we're proud to stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. For the men and women of the Highway Patrol, State Police, EMS, law enforcement agencies all across America, we'd like to thank you for watching and your support for Forensic Mania 411. Remember, the living deserve respect. The dead deserve to know the truth, have justice, and have justice metered out and have closure. And remember, we speak for the dead. Have a good week, folks, and remember, there's no such thing as a perfect crime. TJ and Lynn will see you next week on Forensics Mania 411. Happy 4th of July weekend. Good night from Fairmont, West Virginia. We love you all. I'm out of here. Peace.